Welcome back to another episode. Today we are going to go back to the semiconductor industry and take a quick look at Taiwan semiconductor manufacturing. There are a few reports that have come out that can overall show the current state of the semiconductor industry. We're going to take a quick look at their February revenue numbers. We're also going to take a closer look at their kind of future potential 3nm technology that might have some good news coming out, and just overall my thoughts on the business. If this is your first time here, make sure to hit the thumbs up, make sure to hit the subscribe button, check out the pinned comment for free Discord, free newsletter, and a lot of great investing links. So for those that are not familiar, Taiwan semiconductor manufacturer, they pretty much make chips. These are the ones that create chips for a lot of the big players, some players like AMD, Apple, NVDA, Qualcomm, the list goes on and on and on and on. So this is a very important company. And we can see in late 2020, when this chip shortage started to happen, this stock price took a huge growth. And we can see since, I want to say, early 2021, maybe even late 2020, the stock price has barely moved. It's been quiet for about a year and a half now. And I want to take a closer look at what's happening here. So first, let's take a closer look at those February numbers. So TSM, they do report revenue reports on a monthly basis, which I think is a great thing, kind of helps us see how the overall semiconductor market is doing. And here for February of 2022, they did see a year-over-year increase of about 37.9%. And I think that is insane, the amount of growth this company is still seeing. Obviously, with everything in the shortage happening right now, a company like TSM has a nice amount of pricing power. So that's obviously helping out the revenue growth. But overall, the demand is still insane. They do kind of mention that compared to January of 2022, so month to over month, the revenue decreased about 14.7%. And some investors might be kind of freaking out, hey, that's insane, why did it drop that much? But normally there are kind of like holiday seasons in Asia during January and February that kind of mess up with production. We can see here last year's numbers, right? Last year's number in February of last year, it grew about 14% compared to 2020, where this year it grew 37%, right? So huge demand boost. And same time last year in February compared to January of last year, it also saw a month-to-month decrease. So this month-to-month decrease, I personally would say, is nothing to worry about. It seems to be something within the market in Asia at that time. Again, it could be things like holiday season. So that's the first thing. Overall, it shows great growth potential for the semiconductor industry, at least for now. Let's take a listen to today's sponsor. I want to thank the Motley Fool for sponsoring this video. The Motley Fool is a company that provides investing insight and stock recommendations for investors of all skill sets and risk levels. You guys know I love finding new investing tools and resources to help me scout out new growth stocks. And right now I have a discount for one of my favorite services the Fool offers. Through the Motley Fool Stock Advisor services, you get access to a ton of expert stock picks. Every month you'll get 2 new picks that are aimed at growing your wealth and to help you realize your financial goals. Stock Advisor's average stock picks have done amazing returns. If growing your money is something you'd like to do more of this year, you can visit fool.com/Jose Najarro or click on the link below for access to my special offer and decide if the Stock Advisor is right for you. Thanks again to the Motley Fool, and now onto today's video. Alright, so the second thing I wanted to take a closer look at is TSMC and their move to 3nm chip. So right now they have the first generations of chips called N3, and they are expected to be released to the customers around Q1 of 2023. Obviously they are going to be producing them beforehand, but during the process and the kind of curing time, expected to get a Q1 of 2023. The second generation of this 3nm is expected to called N3E, and these are expected to produce better yields. And so that's why this is the second generation. It was originally expected to be released Q3 of 2023. But there was a recent update from reports of Morgan Stanley for N3E, the second generation, to move closer to Q2 of 2023 because the current production test yields are higher than expected. So I think that was actually pretty cool news for TSM. I also want to show this kind of slideshow that this kind of image that TSM has about the current chip size. We can see right now the one that has recently been created is the 5 nanometer, and that started around 2020. Before then, it was the 7 nanometer, which started around 2018. And right now, and before that was the 10 nanometer around 2016. You're going to see most chips right now are starting to come out 7 nanometers, even though the 7 nanometer came out in 2018. So even though the 5 nanometer has been made by TSM, it still takes some time for the chip designers to kind of work with what they have. So just because 3 nanometers is expected to come sometime in 2023, I don't think we're going to see it anytime soon in the PC market. So who will use Taiwan Semiconductor's 3 nanometers? Like I mentioned, most CPU makers, most GPU makers will be big customers. Companies like AMD, companies like Intel, NVDA, Qualcomm, and Apple. Like I mentioned, still early on in the process. I also wanted to show this kind of roadmap of AMD. Even though 7 nanometers have been released for some time in form of TSM, companies like AMD are only just currently releasing them to the public. For example, 5 nanometer, which has already been out for Taiwan Semiconductor, companies like AMD have still not come out with products using the 5 nanometer. So again, it just shows, to me, this kind of just shows how far in advance companies like TSM need to think ahead of time, right? And it just shows the huge growth potential that is still within the semiconductor industry. Final thoughts, I want to say, at the moment, I don't own TSM, but TSM, I mean, this is a company that's strong in the semiconductor market. It's also paying a dividend yield of about 2.32. The stock price is down over 25% from its all-time highs. I do believe a good portion of valuation risk has been eliminated for a company like this. That doesn't mean volatility can't continue. I mean, today the stock ended almost right now 30 minutes before market is closing is down about 2%. So volatility is still pretty strong in the market. Stock prices can continue to go down. TSM is one of those stocks that if I wanted to get into, I would do more like I like the ability of either dollar cost averaging and getting small position here, small position there, small position all around, so you can kind of get some nice positions. And if we take a quick look at EV to EBITDA forward ratios, again, similar style, you see that the company is not as overly valued as it has been in the past, especially in 2021. But there still could be some valuation risk. At the end of the day, strong dividend, strong market, and I don't see the semiconductor industry going anywhere within the next 5 years. So this is definitely a stock to keep in the radar at least. And we definitely saw some strong revenue growth numbers today. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. Take care, have a good day, and see you next time.